On August 27th, 2016, I created a YouTube account called Mario Gamer Expert. Mario because I'm a Nintendo person, Gamer because I mainly pass the time by playing games, and Expert because I sucked at expert difficulty on the 100 Mario challenge in the original Super Mario Maker. 2 days after I created the account, I posted my first videos, called Aaron Plays Driver's Ed, parts 1 and 2 respectively. To make a long story short, the videos were of me recording my half-brother playing a game called Driver's Ed. Unfortunately, the game seems to be lost media, but I digress. Think of it like BeamNG Drive, but with zombies. You're driving in a mostly straight line and zombies will try to climb on your vehicle. The goal of the game is to go as long as possible without crashing and scrape off zombies by grazing the walls. You could also earn money to buy upgrades and such. Anyway, I also uploaded a Five Nights at Freddy's video on the same day, then for some reason re-uploaded it on September 10th with an added outro, where it was just me singing the Super Mario Bros. Overworld theme really badly. Yeah, I was a really weird kid. Anyway, I'm not gonna go over every single video I ever uploaded because that would take forever, so let's speed things up a bit. The first videos to start popping off on my channel were those effects videos. An effects video is basically where you take a video file, copy and paste it to your heart's content, then for each copy of the video, apply different video and audio filters and see what happens. That's it. That's what an effects video is. They were really popular when I discovered them, and I really liked them, so I decided to do some myself, and my god, if I was monetized back then, I would have made bank. There's Effect Over Effect 1, Power Director TV Wall, Windows XP from February 26, 2017, where I took the video Klasky Windows XP edited version, went into Power Director, and applied the TV wall effect to it, then took that video and added a bunch more effects to it. I remember it getting about 14,000 views at most, nothing groundbreaking. Then, aside from a bunch of other cringy things, I tried making my own series of Klasky Windows XP effects videos, and they absolutely blew up. Fun fact, for a majority of my channel's existence, Klasky Windows XP Effects 12 was my most popular video with over 100,000 views. Of all the ones to blow up, the one where I didn't add any audio effects because I was new to using Vegas Pro at the time. SMH Internet. This video, for whatever reason, also blew up. I think it had about 95,000 views. All Windows startup and shutdown sounds as Piano MIDI Remix in reverse. Logo kids will watch anything, I swear. Speaking as a former Logo kid. Oh yeah, just to show another instance of me being stupid, here's a 38-second clip of me dying to the geometry dash height limit and thinking it was not only a hack, but an Easter egg.
Oh god. Ooh! Oh! Oh, man. I'm trying to... Ooh! Okay, come on. I think that's an hack!
Needless to say, I did not know what a game Easter egg was back then. Also, if anyone knows the ID of the level I was playing, please send it in the comments. I'd love to beat it for nostalgia's sake. And don't forget, for every video on the internet, it must be re-uploaded in reverse.
Now I'm equal. Oh! 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 Now I go.
There's also this video from September 24th, 2017, where I screen recorded a messed up Windows XP virtual machine that somehow got over 1,000 views. Then there's just some more cringy content, a Sparta remix, more Klasky Windows XP effects, and even a Super Mario Bros. Corruptions video. That's all for 2017. Wait, dude. Remember Miiverse? I was so devastated when that shut down. The Wii U was never the same again. Anyway, yeah, I made a video on that on November 16th, 2017, only 8 days after it shut down. Damn, to think that soon it'll have been 8 years since it shut down is crazy. Where have the days gone? Anyway, I digress. 2018 and 2019 were rather unproductive years for me. Nothing notable was uploaded for those years, so let's skip to 2020. August of 2020 specifically. In August of 2020, I came up with an idea for an RPG game that's actually based off of one part of the game Dweller's Empty Path, which was made by Temi Chong, the artist for Undertale and Deltarune. If you don't want spoilers, feel free to skip to the timestamp on the screen, but basically, at one point in the game, the main character, Yoki, comes across this group of people doing some weird live-action roleplay. Well, that's probably not actually the case, but that's the inside joke an old friend came up with, and it's stuck with me ever since. Anyway, these LARPers that we're not even sure were LARPing or not, end up running off to various maps that look like they came straight from an RPG game, which is fitting given Dweller's Empty Path, as well as its prequel Escaped Chasm, were both made in RPG Maker. Yoki follows them and eventually catches them looking at this really big crystal. When the heroes walk up to it, the crystal fuses with them and this holy light is emitted from it. After that, Yoki's friend Claire shows up and they basically travel to 2 different levels to try and interact with one of the crystals themselves. The first time they were too late, and the second time they managed to find the crystal before the heroes did. After Claire tries interacting with the crystal and gets burned, she just decides, and not verbatim of course, oh, to hell with the crystals, let's just go see this Dark Lord the heroes were talking about. I did skip out on the Dark Lord detail earlier, but basically, after the heroes collected the first crystal, one of them said something about the holy light serving as some sort of power-up that'll help them defeat this Dark Lord. Anyway, Claire flies Yoki to the Dark Lord's castle, and when they finally get to his room, said Dark Lord turns out to be Zera, and to put it to few words, Zera is not on good terms with these two. Anyway, Zera explains that he basically usurped the throne, blah blah. Claire decides to just dip, and Yoki pleads for Zera to go easy on the heroes, and that's where that section of the game ends. Then it's back to the usual gameplay. Now, why did I just spoil a huge part of Dweller's Empty Path? Well, my thought process after witnessing the whole RPG game segment was, wow, that part of the game was so cool. I wonder what it would be like to have a full version of that game where we play as the heroes. And that's where Pinori comes into play. It originally was just an expanded version of the whole heroes retrieving crystals concept, but it eventually became its own thing. The game adopted a musical theme, the tones have a bit of a backstory, although it's a bit messy right now, and all's good in the neighborhood. Now, what in God's name does this have to do with my YouTube channel? Why did I just spend a solid... Okay, I actually don't know how long it took for me to explain all the stuff about Dweller's Empty Path and Pinori, so the total duration of said explanation will appear on screen right now. Why did I just spend a solid... explaining shit about a game? All of that to say, about a few months after I started work on Pinori, I changed my name from Mario Gamer Expert to Pinori Dev. This is parodying exactly who you think it is. The one, the only, Yandere Dev. Parodying his username was the worst mistake of my life. Why? Allow me to skip to May of 2022. In May of 2022, I met this guy. I won't point fingers, but he was about 1.5 years younger than me. At the time I was 15 and he was 13. Anyway, we got along great until I decided to fuck it all up by being extremely sus towards him, and let's just say his friend group was not happy about that. So yeah, that happened, and it was completely justified. I was a freak when I was 15, and not the good kind. I was just as bad as, if not worse than Yandere Dev himself. So the fact that I chose to parody his username of all people was irony at its finest. Immediately after I got exposed, I wanted to isolate myself from any potential drama as fast as possible, so that means not only changing my channel name, I changed my trans name too. At the time I went by Lucy. Anyway, I changed my name to Shirley the Infamous Gamer, which was a placeholder username. Then I finally changed it to what you know me as today, shirley.xml. So, why am I talking about all this? Well, I would get to the point if you would let me finish! I'm fucking with you, I'm sorry, please don't click off. You probably already did. Fuck. Anyway, because of the bullshit I pulled in May of 2022, I got harassed for a long time, and I mean a long fucking time. You want to take a guess? Go ahead. I'll give you 10 seconds to take your guess. Well, if you guessed 2.5 years, you would be correct. On and off, I got harassed over what I did on May 28th. What is wrong with me? On and off, I got harassed over what I did on May 8th, 2022 for 2.5 years. That means things had only died down in mid-2024. Oh yeah, off topic, but in October of 2022, I uploaded the first version of the penis eek but in 6/8 time signature, and that ended up becoming 3 times as popular as Klasky Windows XP FX 12. Well, something had to dethrone the logo slop. Back to 2024 though. Anyway, mid-2024 was basically the beginning of the end of the channel. I was experiencing drama basically every day and it was just extremely stressful. There was one situation where a friend of that guy randomly hit me up on Discord asking, "Oh my god, why the fuck did you groom him?" or some shit like that. I immediately blocked him and then he went out of his way to... Am I good? Can I continue now? I immediately blocked him, and then he went out of his way to make a public YouTube video talking about what happened, then cue a back and forth of response videos. We eventually made amends for like 3 months at most. Then he decided, you know what? Fuck the truce. I hate you again. And I started receiving hate posts again. One of which talked about doxing me and or driving me to suicide, and they had the audacity to call me a pedophile. Like I said, I was 15 when the thing happened, and most of these haters are from the UK. I wasn't even an adult by UK standards when it happened, and the situation with the guy was a one-time mistake. After I got called out, that really whipped me into shape. I've never done anything of the sort since, and that's a fact. And then there was another situation where a former friend of mine tried to cancel me over some stupid shit that I'm not going to go into detail about, but it was stuff that did not matter at all. In comes an ex of mine, specifically a clout-hungry psychotic attention whore, writing an entire fucking Google document on me, basically hopping on the drama train and trying to expose me by essentially one-upping the former friend's claims and then going on to talk about her side of our relationship. I countered the document and debunked a shitload of false claims on video, which she did not take kindly to, and proceeded to make a second document, which was basically just an entire page of insults, and yeah, she was pissed. Anyway, the video where I debunked her document on me was my second to last video. At some point, my mom told me to delete the channel, so I decided to make one final video explaining the situation, and that was that. On August 1st, 2024, Shirley.XML, and by extension Shirley.Xml, Sana Masako, and shirleywtv were all deleted 26 days before the main channel would have turned 8. And finally, that brings us to today. This video was scripted, recorded, and edited in advance, but by the time this video goes up, it should be August 27th, 2025 at noon. Exactly 9 years after I first created the channel. That channel existed for almost half of my life. That channel grew up with me. So for things to have gotten to a point where I had to kill it myself due to drama, that's just sad. I was planning on living my whole life with that channel. I wanted to upload till I was 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I wanted to keep that channel till I kicked the bucket. But thanks to drama, I wasn't even granted that wish. I don't even live in Detroit, but I still can't have shit. Such is life. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that dive into what's essentially my past YouTube life. Again, it's a shame that things ended the way they did, but hey, I've already started fresh on a new channel, aside from this one, of course. and it's doing pretty well given it's still in its infancy. That's all I wanted to talk about today, so the video is ending here. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time whenever I have anything else to talk about. But before I go, does anyone want to just shut up and gay with me? Yeah, I thought not.